Hello and welcome to Rathods IS. Today in this session, we are going to see current affairs of 3rd January 2024. So first of all, we are going to see the PDF of Hindu and we are going to highlight the important articles and we are going to see some important dimensions from which we can think. So whenever we are thinking a single topic in the multi-dimensional manner, that will helpful to improve your thought process. And that thought process will be helpful to write a good answer and even to write a beautiful essay in a multi-dimensional manner. So that exercise of thought process that we are going to see with this news analysis, and the motto of this class, it is to make you aware about current affairs and to make current affairs simple, and you will also create some interest in you to read current affairs. And please let me know how many of you are beginners and how many of you are having fear of reading newspaper. And one more problem that I found with many beginners is they will be not understanding how to read this current affairs or how to read this newspaper. So because of that fear and because of that phobia, so many of them, they are skipping this newspaper. But skipping newspaper is not a best option for an UPSC aspirant. Yes, you have to read newspaper for sure for at least 1.5 hour or 1.5 hour every day, and you have to cover the current affairs of 1.5 year to 2 years, okay, before your mains, so that you can write a very good essay and as well as a very good mains answers as well. So without wasting any time, let us see the important topics. And this is the front page of Delhi edition. So first important article, it is MHA seeks to pacify truckers protesting new hit and run law. So this article is at most important, and even I want to share the problem that yesterday I faced. And yesterday evening I am going to my home and I am returning to my home from the office, and at that time actually I was stuck in traffic jam. So actually I want to have a petrol in my bike, but what happened, the petrol bunks are full and there is a lot of queue there, and just to cross petrol bunk it took around 1 to 1.5 hours to me. And I started at 4 o'clock in the office and I reached home by 6 o'clock. So that much traffic was there, so because of this hit and run law. So this article is talking about hit and run law. So actually you know that our central government, so CG is here central government, came up with repealing of criminal laws in India. So we have IPC, CRPC and Indian Evidence Act, and they had been passed with the new bills, and these bills also got assent from president. And this new laws now, so they will be implemented throughout the country soon. They will be implemented throughout the country soon. Yes or no? Is that clear till now? So what is the story here is, so this law, okay, so one such a section which talks about hit and run. So what is this hit and run? So if you see the big vehicles, so which are those big vehicles? For example, buses, lorries, trucks, for example oil tankers, etc. So there are many big vehicles that will be moving on the road. So whenever these big vehicles, they are moving on the road, sometimes accidents will happen. Unfortunately accidents will happen. So now whenever there is any accident which happens or by these big vehicles, now onwards there is increased punishment. So now onwards there is increased punishment. So what is the increased punishment here? 10 years of imprisonment and 7 lakhs of fine. So punishment is 10 years of imprisonment and 7 lakhs of fine. And one more provision here is, so without investigation they will say that, so this is a mistake of big vehicle. This is a mistake of big vehicle, and big vehicles, they have to undergo the punishment and they have to provide the monetary penalty as well. So this, because of this, what happened? Now let us come into the reality. So because of this big vehicles, either drivers or owners, so they are going for strike to repeal this law. Okay, strike to repeal this law, and that strike, it is from January 1st to January 30. And they said that for next 3 days we are going to say the ban. So because of this, many people who are aware about this news, they came to this petrol bunks to fill their vehicles. Okay, so this is the issue now. So here, how many dimensions we studied? So we studied one dimension here, and this is second dimension, and this is third dimension. And now let us see what will be the impact of this move. So have you followed the news or not? News channels. So what will be the impact? For example, if you take this DCMs, lorries, trucks, they are mainly used for the transportation purpose, right? They will be used for transportation. Transportations of essential goods, yes or no? Essential goods. So whenever these are going for strike, means what happened? Automatically there will be decreasing of supply of goods. There will be decrease in the supply of goods. On another side, there will be increase in the demand. So on one side there is supply decreases and another side demand increases. That will leads to inflation, increasing of price of goods and service in the market, inflation. And next, let us see the next important thing here is, so these are the big vehicles useful for transportation of oil. Like for example petrol and diesel to the petrol bunks, etc. So because of this, that will create decreasing of petroleum reserves in the petrol bunks. So if there is no petrol, diesel, the transportation will be stalled. So if I am going to office using my bike, okay, if there is no petrol in my bike, how can I go? So I can't go on my foot because it is very long distance. So that it will be also leads to disruption in the economic activities. It will lead to disruption in the economic activities. That will lead to decreasing of economic growth. Because it is happening throughout India. I am not saying about only in my state or your state. It is happening throughout our country. Yes, and next one is, it will also disincentivizes drivers. So drivers will be not interested to take this option of driving now. Yes or no? And even it will be having other negative impacts. Okay, so these are the some impacts that you have to remember, and if you want to add anything, so please give your opinions in this comment box. Okay, so this is about this first article. So whether it is clear or not, so if it is clear, please hit the like button, so it will be like a compliment to me. Okay, so if you want to give any compliment to me, so please hit the like button, and please do comment, and please do share this video to your friends also. Yes, now let us see the next topic. It is about jet burst into flames after collision with relief plane in Tokyo, 5 dead. So this is a major accident that happened in Japan. So here you have to see what are the major reasons of this accident and what will be the impact and how can we take some measures to stop this type of events in the future. That's it. And next topic is roll out schedule of 3 new criminal courts will be notified by January 26. So again, this topic is the continuation of this first topic that we discussed, and we are going to see that as well. Already you know that our government came up with new acts or laws. So these new acts or laws which have been repealed, IPC, CRPC and Indian Evidence Act. So these laws were the British or colonial legacy. So these laws were colonial legacy in India, and we came up with the end to this colonial legacy. And if you want to implement these new laws throughout the country, so what is the problem? Implementation problem will be the thing. So we will be getting the problem in implementation. Okay, and even it will be like a time taking. Now what happened is, present government is saying that will take 6 to 9 months to implement these new acts throughout the country. But as of now, we are coming up with pilot project. To implement in some area. So based on the results of that pilot project, we are going to extend that to throughout the country. So this is the thing which mainly said by this article. And you have to see what are the new amendments or the new changes with this bills. So this is very, very important. Clear? So this is the one more important thing that you have to remember. And next very important topic is stick to procedure in counter-terror operations, says Shah. So this article is talking about counter-terror operations. So what is going on? So in Jammu and Kashmir, so we are seeing this counter-terror operations are going on, especially in the Poonch area. So here in this context, you have to know some dimensions. So we are going to see the dimensions here. So this article is talking about anti-terror operations. So this article is talking about anti-terror operations. Yes or no? So here we are going to see some dimensions that you have to think. So here you have to see what is the meaning of terrorism. So what is the meaning of terrorism? And you have to see some major terror outfits. They are operating throughout the world. For example, LET, Lashkar-e-Taiba, JEM, Jaish-e-Mohammed and Boko Haram. Okay, so these are some terror organizations which are going on, which are operating in the different countries, and you have to see some important organizations from which country they are operating. And you have to see what are the provisions of this anti-terror operations. So why we need to take this anti-terror operations? So what is significance of this anti-terror operations? And at last you have to see the way forward, like how can we prevent this terror related things that are going in the country. Okay, how can we save our borders? So these all are the dimensions that you have to think about. Okay, now let us see the next topic. It is also very interesting. That is free movement regime at Myanmar border to end soon, entry into India will need visa. So here you can see, so this is nothing but just a fence. So if you're talking about India and its borders, okay, if you're talking about India and its borders, we're talking about India and its borders. So India is sharing boundary with other 7 countries. Yes or no? First one is Afghanistan, Pakistan, China, Nepal, Bhutan, Bangladesh. Next one is Myanmar. So with these countries, India is sharing direct land boundary. But with this Afghanistan, yes, on map we are sharing. But actually in reality it is coming under this POK, Pak Occupied Kashmir. But even though we will be considering that Afghanistan is sharing direct boundary of 108 kilometers with India. So out of these all countries, India is sharing longest boundary with Bangladesh. Okay. So now we are talking about this India-Myanmar border. So especially in the northeastern region, so India is sharing boundary with this Myanmar. And what are the boundary that is present between India and Myanmar? That boundary is porous boundary. That means easy movement from these places will happen. So what happens? So whenever there is porous boundary, whenever the easy movement of people is happening, that will lead to the problem called as insurgency. And next one is armed trafficking. Next one is drugs trafficking. And even the trafficking of animals. So these will be some problems that we will be facing. So now our government of India says that if you want to enter into India, now onwards you need to get visa. So if you have visa, then only you can enter into India. Okay, so this is the crux of this article. We are going to see like what is this porous boundary between India and Myanmar. So what is the issue? All these things that we are going to see. Okay, clear? And now let us move on to next page. So in the city page, you can see one at most important topic from our judiciary. That is 1/5 of district courts in country lack separate toilets for women, says SC report. Okay, so report says that here, especially in the district courts, there are no separate toilets for women. So even in the judiciary itself, even the courts itself, if we are not having this toilets for separately for women, then how can we ensure women empowerment? No, right? So now let us see about judiciary and its problems. So if we are talking about judiciary in India, we have integrated judicial system. So if you want, you can draw this pyramid structure. At topmost we have Supreme Court, and the highest court in the state is High Court. In district we have district courts or subordinate courts. So in the subordinate courts we have civil courts and we have criminal courts. So this is the integrated system of judiciary that is present in our country. So here if you are talking about problems of our judiciary, there is lack of infrastructure, pendency of cases, and increased vacancies, issue with collegium system, and even we are facing this problem called as judicial activism. Okay, so please let me know if there are any other problems to faced by this judiciary. Okay, and even you can see like there is lack of toilets. So this article you can add as a case study, like recently SC report came and this SC report said that there is no toilet separately for women in the district courts. So in this way you can add this article as an example. So this is about this topic, and now let us move on. And you can directly move on to this editorial page today. Yes, this article, it is about NG-Narega and Aadhaar enabled payment system. So we are discussing that topic since last 3 to 4 days, and you have to just revise this topic, that's it. So what is this Aadhaar enabled payment system? So what is the problem with this NG-Narega workers? They are having the bank accounts, but they are not linked with this Aadhaar. Or some people, they do not have even bank accounts. So this is the problem. And next topic is global nuclear order is under strain. So here you have to understand what is this global nuclear order and what is its relevance and what is its significance. And this topic is important from this international relations. And here in this context, you have to see one important treaty, that is NPT, Non-Proliferation Treaty, and you have to see what are the provisions of this non-proliferation treaty. It is very, very important. And you can expect a mains question from this non-proliferation treaty. And next topic, it is about inflation. Okay, or else you can see like in yesterday's class, we discussed that in the month of December, there is decreased GST collections. So this article is talking about that topic itself, nothing new. And next topic, it is about India-Maldives relations. So actually, Maldives said that we are going to withdraw from this hydrographic survey agreement which signed between India and Maldives. So Maldives said that with these surveys, there is threat to sovereignty and integrity of Maldives. So in this context, it is one cause of concern for India-Maldives. And recently in the Maldives, there was a new government which formed, right? So because of this, there are some changes. So now let us see this topic. What are the dimensions? So this article is talking about India-Maldives relations. So first important thing here, you have to think about this map. So where is this Maldives located? And India and Maldives are divided by which latitude? That is very important. And you have to see the formation of this Maldives. You have to see like formation of this Maldives, and actually this Maldives, it is a corals. You have to see this corals. It is also very important from your environment and ecology. And apart from that, if you see recently what happened, so recent developments, so elections in Maldives. So now what happened? New president. You don't want to go with this hydrological survey. So this is one cause of concern now. And here in this context, you have to see what is this hydrological agreement. So whether India is having this type of agreement with only with this country, or if it is having with another countries also. That thing is very, very important. And this topic is important from your international relations, which comes under GS paper 2. Okay, so that's all. Nothing more, nothing less. And now let us move on to see other articles. Yes, and here you can see like West Asian nations hold the highest number of Indians in jail abroad. So this article says that recently Qatar court commuted death sentences of 8 former Indian Navy officers. Okay, so actually they were employed by a Doha based company and they were arrested in 2022 August, alleged that espionage case. That means they released some important information or secret information to others. Okay, so because of this, 8 Navy, former Navy officers, they had been commuted or they given this death punishment or death penalty, and finally it had been commuted. Okay, so this article says that especially if you see these charts, in UAE there are 2143 prisoners are there from India, and Saudi 2200, in Nepal 1200, Qatar 752, Kuwait 410, Bahrain 310, Italy 165, Pakistan 308, Malaysia 309, UK 278. Okay, so in this way here we are having more number of prisoners from India. They are staying in these countries, and especially the people from Punjab, West Bengal, Tamil Nadu, they are greater in number. Okay, so these are some important things that you have to remember. And you can move on to this news page today. Yes, there is one important word, that is VVPATs, Voter Verifiable Paper Audit Trail. So how many of you have right to vote? Everyone, right? So how many of you cast your vote? At least once till now. So if you are pressing the button in AVM, so beside you will be having a machine. So in that machine it will be displaying a small paper, and that small paper will contain the so-and-so symbol of that so-and-so political party to which you voted and the name of the candidate. Yes or no? So that is called as Voter Verifiable Paper Audit Trail. That is very important, because whenever a government is coming up with elections or election codes or reforms in elections, that will become one of the favorite topic of UPSC, and you can expect a good chunk of questions from that topic. So because of that, I want to say about this VVPATs. Yes, here there is one article. It is about appointment of election commissioners and chief election commission. So it is also very important. So this article says about some concerns regarding the bill of appointment of the CECs and ECs. And this topic is important from your polity, which comes under GS paper 2. Okay, so this is also very important. And now let us move on. Yes, in this world page you can see this monster quake in Japan leaves 48 dead. Rescuers scramble in search of survivors. So this article is talking about earthquake in Japan. So if you are talking about why this Japan is most prone to earthquakes, so there is a geographical reason that is present behind that. Earthquakes and Japan. Talking about earthquakes and Japan, you have to see the location first. So actually they are present on the plate boundaries. They are present on this plate boundaries, and because of this plate movement, convergent plate movement, that means the two plates, they are coming together each other. So whenever this type of movement of plates is there, that will lead to a massive destruction. Okay, so because of this, what happened is Japan, it is facing this issue of earthquakes, tsunamis, etc. And even you have to know that even what is a specific ring of fire. You have to know about what is a specific ring of fire. So all these things are very important. Okay, and the business page you can see rupee may rise to 81 per dollar by December amid inflows hopes. So now we can see the value of dollar is 81. So earlier it was like 82 to 83 rupees, and now it is going to decrease. That means we can see the depreciation of this dollar value and appreciation of this rupee value. That is very important concept. And these are the very important articles that appear in today's Hindu newspaper. And now we are going to see the notes. And if you want to get the notes, so please do join the Telegram channel. and there we are posting the class notes. There you can download the notes. Okay, so now let us see the notes part. So this is the notes that I am going to provide you. So the first article it is about rollout schedule of 3 new criminal codes. Okay, so this is very, very important, and we are going to see exactly what are the proposed changes. Okay, so please let me know what is your opinion regarding this replacing of IPC, CRPC and IEA. Okay, in the comment box, whether it is good or not. So if it is good, why? And if it is bad, why? So please let me know your comments in the comment box. So in the meanwhile, I will have some water. Actually, the problem here is in this early morning. So now the time is around 6:45. So it is like very, very difficult to me, because to come to the place where the recordings are going on, it is every time we will see fog and it will be very, very cool. So because of the something is happening in my throat, so because of that I can't talk continuously. So in between I have to have some water. So that is the problem. Okay, so please excuse me. Yeah, now let us see the context. It says that the date of implementation of this new laws, or this new 3 criminal codes that were passed by the Parliament in December 2023. So when we are going to implement this? So the date will be given before 26th January. So this is the thing which mainly said. And if you see details, it says that the official added that it will take 9 months, around 9 months to 1 year time for the implementation of these 3 new codes throughout the country. So because of this, they have to know, for example, if you are coming up with anything new, we have to come up with a pilot project. So we have to do and try, right? So for that, they are coming up with a pilot project, and that is going to begin in Ahmedabad in next 2 months. And except some areas that have connectivity problems in the next 1 year, 90% of area will come under this new laws. So this is the statement which is given by our central government. And if you see here, National Crimes Record Bureau will coordinate with integration of other wings of criminal justice system like interoperable criminal justice system, national automated fingerprint identification system, and adjournment alert module, crime and criminal tracking network. So for all these things, yes, now you are going to get help from this National Crimes Record Bureau. So if you are talking about 3 earlier laws, we have IPC, and we have Code of Criminal Procedure, and we have Indian Evidence Act. Okay, but we are removing all these 3. So now let us see what is this Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita bill which is talking about. So what are the proposed amendments? So what are the changes that we are going to get? So first one is, it is defining the word terrorism and offences like separation or separatism or armed rebellion against the government, etc. The first one is definitions. And this one is, it will repeal offence of sedition. Okay, it will repeal the offence of sedition, and it also prescribes a capital punishment. It is a maximum punishment for mob lynching. Okay, because in the recent years there is lots and lots of incidents which are being filed regarding this mob lynching. And this one is, it also proposes 10 years of imprisonment for sexual intercourse with a woman on false promise of marriage. So if there is any false promise of marriage, and if you are going for sexual intercourse, then you will be attracted with 10 years of imprisonment. And this one is, bill introduces community service as a form of punishment for specific crimes. Okay, so we are going to have a community service as well. And this bill which fixes the maximum limit of 180 days to file a charge sheet. Okay, and it is focusing on how to prevent the delays. So for the preventing of delays itself, we came up with this time limit. So if you are having time limit, then automatically the delays will be reduced. And next one here is the proposed changes by this Bharatiya Nagarik Suraksha Sanhita. So this law which is focusing on promoting the use of technology for trials, for appeals and recording depositions, and here it will allow video conference for the proceedings. And this bill will make video recordings of statement of survivals of sexual violence compulsory. So whenever the sexual violence is happening, so yes, we need to have a video, okay, such that we can say like video from the victim. And this will be helpful for getting the or preserving the evidence and preventing the coercion or manipulation. So especially in many cases of the sexual violence, the evidence will be manipulated, and this is shown in many movies. Yes or no? So because I am very much fond of watching movies, and I will be learning lots and lots of things by watching movies. Okay, so if you are having the time, so try to watch interesting investigation movies or the movies of IAS officers or IPS officers, so that you will be getting knowledge like what is happening on the reality. Okay. And next one is the bill which mandates that police must inform about the status of complaint within 90 days. So that will help for improving of accountability and transparency in this police system. And this one is this bill which also requires that the police need to consult the victim before withdrawing a case. If there is any request for the withdrawing of the case, so this withdrawing will happen because of force many a times. So we have to, that is police have to consult this victim before withdrawing of the case. And this act which also empowers the magistrate to take cognizable offences based on the electronic records. For example, they can take the records from the emails, SMS, WhatsApp messages, etc. Okay, and next one is here we are also focusing on this death sentence. So death sentence, it is to be filed within 30 days to the governor and within 60 days to the president if they are eligible for the mercy petitions or not. And this one is if there is no appeal shall lie against the president's decisions in any court. And next, third one here is proposed changes in Bharatiya Saksha Bill 2023. So this bill which defines electronic evidences as any information generated or transmitted by any device or system that is capable of being stored or retrieved by any means. Okay, it is saying that we have to define these electronic evidences, so which are generated or emitted, because if you see now we are also having a threat of deep fakes. So with this deep fakes, so we are going for manipulating of images, videos. So this is also one cause of concern. And next one is it lays down some specific criteria for admissibility of electronic evidences such as authenticity, integrity, reliability, etc. So in this way it can prevent misuse or tampering of digital data. And next one is it will also provide for special provisions for admissibility of DNA evidence such as consent, chain of custody, etc. And even it will be helpful in enhancing the accuracy and reliability of the biological evidence. And even it says that it recognizes expert opinion as a form of evidence. For example, medical opinion, handwriting analysis, etc. that can be done. And this one is it also introduces presumption of innocence. So I am innocent, I can say this, it is my fundamental right. Okay, so these are some important proposed changes. So this will be very, very important. And now let us see next topic. It is about hit and run law. So this article is important from GS paper 2, GS paper 3 and society point of view, etc. So what is the issue here, or what is the context? So across the country, throughout the country here, so transporters, they are stuck work to protest increase in the punishment in hit and run cases. So earlier, so we do not have much severe punishment, but now because of these changes in this criminal laws in India, that led to increasing of punishment for this hit and run cases. So because of this, they are doing protest against this Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita. So they are transporters including like buses, taxis, lorries, DCMs, trucks, etc. So they are going to have a strike from January 1st to January 30. So it is based on the section 106 of BNS. So the government wants to clarify that these new laws have not yet implemented it. So why are doing the strikes? So if we are talking about this new hit and run law. So new hit and run law in India is a part of Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita. It is a part of Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita, and actually it replaced the IPC, Indian Penal Code. And here the law which imposes stricter penalties for drivers who flee scene of hit and run incident. That means if I am driving a lorry, I don't know how to drive a truck, but I am saying like I am driving a truck. Suddenly, unfortunately, I committed an accident. So in that accident, I don't want to face the people. So because of fear, I had run from the incident site. Okay, so I am fleeing out, I am absconding, right? So this law is talking about hit and run. So after accidents, running, it is a crime. Or absconding, it is a crime. So the law which states that the driver who causes a serious road accident through negligent driving and flee without informing authorities. So if they are hitting the people or committing accidents with a negligence or with a rash driving, and if they are fleeing out, if they are absconding from the sites, they will face up to 10 years of imprisonment and a fine of around 7 lakh rupees. And in response to the new law here, truck and bus drivers across India, they have been protesting. And on Monday here, drivers, they launched a 3-day protest blocking highways, several other key roads. So because of this, a lot of traffic damage happened. So I also one of the victim of that traffic jam yesterday. Okay, and now let us see what is the criticism and concerns regarding this new bill. So this new law which talks about stricter punishments like 10 years of jail and 7 lakhs of fine. So it will be very, very heavy for the drivers. And if this type of strict provisions will come up regarding this driving or transportation, that will lead to disincentivize this drivers. So drivers, they will not take this option as driving for livelihood. And next one is there is also a risk of mob lynching or mob violence. So whenever if you are hitting anyone, whenever if you committed any accident, so if you are going and if you are coming down of the vehicle and if you are facing the community people, this community people can hit you. So actually recently in Telangana state, I saw one incident. So what happened, DCM person who hit a person of that local area, and unfortunately that person, okay, was died. So that time what happened, the driver of the DCM, he get down. So within no matter of time here, what happened, the locals, they gathered to that site of accident and they started beating this driver of DCM very hard. And even, they thrown big stones on him. And even I saw like one person who lifted a big stone and he threw that stone on the head of that driver. So finally that driver also died on the spot itself. So here what happens? So that will lead to loss of the life of another person as well. So whether it will not comes into the crime or not. Yes or no? So please let me know your opinion. So how can we reduce this mob violence against the drivers? So how can we save the lives of the drivers? It is also a very important concept. So after I watched that video clip for 2 to 3 minutes, then I got like fainting. So why people are doing this much? So why people are angry? So why people, they want to kill the another person alive? Okay, so it is not their right? So accident happened, but it is not done by intentionally. So unfortunately accident happened, and in that accident that person died. So if any person who is died means, so there will be some monetary compensation will be given from the vehicle side, like insurance will be filed, and even driver can be fined to give so and so money to the family of that so and so people. But why? Whether the killing of the same driver, it is a right thing or not? So please let me know your opinion in the comment box. So that is a true incident that happened. And this one is blaming big vehicles without investigation. Truck drivers in particular, they are concerned that law enforcement may hastily blame larger vehicles without thorough investigation. That will potentially lead to unjust accusations and penalties. So what happens? So even though without investigation whether who is wrong, okay, who is wrong, so they are saying that it is a mistake of big vehicles. So how far it is correct? And this one is harassment and extortion. So the industry raises concerns about potential harassment, extortion, unnecessary detention and legal consequence for drivers, adding to the challenges faced by those who are in the transportation sector. Yes, after this accident had done or the committing of or hitting, then what happens? They will be entering into this harassment, extortion, etc. Okay, so this is about this topic. And next topic is free movement regime at Myanmar border to end soon. Entry into India will need visa. So this article is very important. Okay, so because this article is talking about India-Myanmar relations, so we are going to see like because of this move of government of India, so it is going to have impact on India-Myanmar relations for sure. So now let us see the context. It says that Union government is all set to scrap free movement regime. So it is going to scrap this free movement regime along this Myanmar border. And people especially who are living across this border areas, they would cross over into India. But now onwards they have to require visa. So there is no free movement regime from now onwards. So India-Myanmar, they share an unfenced border, and people on either side, they have familial and ethnical ties. So because of this, what happens? So we do not have the proper arrangement or safeguarding of our borders across this India and Myanmar. And official says that around 300 kilometers of the border that will be fenced, and tender will be issued in the next few days. Okay, and they are going to surveillance for this borders by using the drones. So here we have this map. So this is Myanmar country, and this red color is the international boundary between India and Myanmar. Okay, so Myanmar is sharing boundary with India and as well as here Bangladesh. Okay, so here you can see Mizoram, Manipur, Nagaland, Arunachal Pradesh. So these are the Indian states which are sharing boundary with this Myanmar, and I hope you can see this is the fence. And next topic is about India-Maldives relations. So this article is also at most important. And now let us see this topic in detail. So if you see here, recently the new government of Maldives took a decision to withdraw from this hydrological agreement with India. Okay, so recent decision by Maldives to revoke an agreement with India for joint hydrographic surveys in Maldivian waters has caused considerable dismal to Indian media and strategic circles. So because whenever they want to withdraw, yes, it will be leading to the decreasing, or we can see like ebb in the relations of India and Myanmar, India and this Maldives. So even actually this agreement which had been signed between Maldives and India in year 2019, when our Prime Minister he visited this Maldives. So from that time onwards we have 3 hydrological studies. So if we are talking about the Maldives cabinet which now decided to renew a 2019 MOU with India for hydrographic surveys, and India agreed to Maldivian demand that Indian troops will be withdrawn. So they asked that to withdraw Indian troops from this Maldivian waters, and finally India withdrawn this Indian troops from this Maldivian waters. So why this decision is taken by this Maldives? So Maldives here they says that it is causing infringement. Okay, it is causing infringement on this Maldivian sovereignty. So it is one of the threat to this Maldivian territory and sovereignty. So because of this decision which is taken by this Maldivian cabinet. And if we are talking about this hydrographic surveys, so in 2019 we had this agreement. In 2019 our Prime Minister he visited this Maldives. At that time we had this agreement with Maldives, and this Maldives Defence Force and Indian Navy, they have carried out around 3 joint hydrographic surveys in Maldivian water. So this survey which is carried out by ships and which use the methods like using sonar to understand various features. So what are the features they are going to see? Like they will be going to see the depth of water. They will map out the water depth and the shape of the sea floor coastline, and if there is any possible obstructions are there or not, and even they will be focusing on the physical features of water bodies. So in this way it will be helpful for efficient maritime transportation and as well as efficiency in the waterways. So here the survey which will generate updated navigational charts and electronic navigational charts. So this will be very much helpful for enhancing the safety of the ships, and even that will be helpful for getting more and more economy through this blue economy as well. So these are some highlights. And now let us see whether this type of agreement is having only with Maldives or with other countries as well. So in 2021, India's oldest hydrographic survey ship, that is INS Sandhyak, was decommissioned. So this is the one bad thing that I can say. And this one is, it undertook more than 200 major hydrographic surveys along the western eastern coast of Indian Peninsula. So across the Indian Peninsula, this western coast and eastern coast, we have the lots of time, we have this surveys. And next one is even in Andaman Sea also we have this surveys, and even with our neighboring countries like Sri Lanka, Myanmar and Bangladesh, so with those countries, yes, we have this type of surveys. And recently a United Nations study says that 50% of coastal states, they have no hydrographic ability, and another 25% have only limited capacities. Only 25% including India, they have adequate hydrographic capabilities. So even India is having adequate hydrographic capabilities. So this is the thing which said by United Nations. Okay, so this is about this topic, and these are the important points that you have to remember. That's it. And now let us see the next topic. It is about the process of appointment of Chief Election Commissioners and Election Commissioners for Election Commission of India. And this topic is important from polity, and it is at most important. And I am expecting that in this year prelims you will be getting questions regarding this Election Commission of India topic for sure. So please be revised. Okay, so please do revise. And if you see the context, it says that the petitions, they have been moved to Supreme Court against a new law regarding the appointment of CEC and EC. So the issue here is CEC and other election commissioners, so they will be appointed now based on the committee. So this committee will be containing cabinet ministers. So earlier committee used to have CJI, but he has been removed and he has been replaced with cabinet minister. So this is the one cause of concern. So what are the key provisions of this bill? So this bill replaces Election Commission, conditions of service of election commissioners, and translocation of the Business Act of 1991. And this bill which addresses appointment process, salary, and the removal of the CEC and ECs. So what is this appointment process? So CECs and ECs normally will be appointed by the President as usual, but it is based on the recommendation of selection committee. So now here the cause of concern here is members of this selection committee. So obviously we have Prime Minister and we have Union Cabinet Minister now and leader of opposition party. So earlier we used to have this CJI here, so it had been removed with this Cabinet Minister. So the recommendations of the select committee will be valid even when there is vacancy of this committee. And the search committee, which is headed by the Cabinet Secretary, they will be propose a panel to the names of the selection committee, and finally the selection will be happen and he will be appointed as CEC and EC by the President. So this is the process, and please open your Lakshmikant and read this topic of elections, Election Commission of India under constitutional body. Okay, so please let me know which article is talking about election commission. Okay, and that's all for today. So these are the very important topics that appeared in our today's Hindu newspaper, and now I want to show you where you can get the notes. So this is Rathods IAS classes Telegram channel. So every day we will be posting the notes here. Okay, so if you click on this, then you can easily download the PDF. Okay, so please do join this Telegram channel, and the link is given in description box. Somebody is saying that link is not working, but it is working. Or else you can open the Telegram and in the search box you can type this Rathods IAS classes, and you can see this logo here and you can join the channel. And this is our YouTube, that is Rathods IAS Academy YouTube channel. So please do subscribe to this channel. And this is our website, Rathods IAS Academy website. So if you want to use this website, first you have to do login or register. So after clicking that, you have to click on do not have account, and you have to fill up all these details to register. So after once you have registered with your mail ID, then you can go with login. And after login, you can click on this course list. So these are the wide range of courses that we are offering in Rathods IAS. If you are facing any problem in single subject or entire subject, you can take the courses that we are offering. And before that, you can watch this demo videos. If you click on this play course, 3 demo videos will be opened without paying a single penny. So after watching this demo videos, and if you feel comfortable, then only you can take the course. So that's all for today. I hope you enjoyed this class. If you really like this class, hit the like button and please do share this video to your friends also. Thank you so much for watching.